So let's discuss evidence-based practices related to health education. So evidence-based practice, also known as your EBP, is a consensuous use of current best evidence in making decision about your patient. Okay? So dapat careful tayo and responsible tayo, okay, in the use ng mga current evidence kapag nag-help tayo in terms of decision making sa patient care. And we need to take note po that it combines three major components, okay? So meron kang best and most current evidence base or the current and relevant research evidences, yung clinical expertise on our end, that would be our nurses' clinical expertise, and yung patient's preference and values, okay? So this means tayo as nurses, we should not only rely on habits, routines, and tradition. Instead, dapat yung mga interventions natin should be what? Supported by evidence proven to improve patient outcome. So let's say for example, okay, merong research na nagsasabi na early ambulation after surgery decreases complications ng pneumonia or atelectasis and pagka-develop ng DVT. Okay, so dahil meron kang evidence with that, so tayo as nurses, we encourage post-operative patients to ambulate early whenever appropriate. Okay, so we encourage early ambulation, of course, with the permission, okay, as long as meron ng go signal si doc, okay, that we can ambulate already the patient. Okay, now please take note, these are the components of your evidence-based practice. Yung mention natin kanina, clinical expertise, best current evidences, and patient values and preferences. Now, they also added, okay, under your evidence-based medicine, they uses yung tatlo, but they also added what? Patient's circumstances. It refers to what? The clinical condition and clinical setting. Okay? So, yung patient's clinical condition at ano yung hospital environment when care is provided. That would be your clinical setting. Importante siya kasi not all healthcare setting have the same resources or patient condition. So, let's say for example, merong treatment na available sa isang large na tertiary hospital. Okay? Na pwedeng hindi available sa isang rural clinic. Okay? Kasi limited yung equipment and yung staffing niya. Therefore, ikaw as a nurse, kailangan mong i-adapt yung mga evidence-based intervention according sa patient's condition at yung clinical setting mo. Okay? Next, let's discuss the 7 steps of evidence-based practice. Unang-una would be cultivate a spirit of inquiry. So, you need to be what? You need to be curious about the current nursing practices. You question whether meron bang better intervention that exists. So tayo as nurses, we should question current practices and remain curious, okay, about whether meron bang bagong intervention. So let's say for example, ikaw, nagku-query ka if ang video teaching ba is more effective than verbal teaching sa isang diabetic patient na kailangan matutong mag-insulin administration. Okay, so you are being curious. Okay, next you ask questions. Okay, so you use a structured format such as they are PICOT. Okay, so what is a PICOT? PICOT, okay, is a framework used in evidence-based practice to help nurses and other professionals formulate clear and focused na question, okay, clinical question. So what does it mean? Okay, so PICOT stands for patient, population, and problem. I would be intervention. C would be comparison. O would be outcome, and T would be time. So when you say patient, population, problem, so sino ang patient? Sino ang population na affected? Okay? So what is the health problem or condition? Okay? When you say intervention, ano bang intervention? Ano bang treatment? Ano bang approach yung kino-consider natin? Okay? Then you go to the comparison. Meron bang alternative dito sa intervention na meron tayo ngayon? Okay? So you can compare that. And then, ano yung magiging result or outcome na expected ninyo for that? And then, ano yung possible na time frame for achieving that outcome? Okay? So, let's say for example, yung ano natin kanina, nagku-query ka if effective ang video teaching. Okay? Mas effective ba siya sa verbal teaching for a patient that would learn insulin? Okay? So, sino ang patient doon? Okay? So, I want you to formulate your answer and we'll discuss it on a face-to-face. So, what is the patient, population, and problem? Ano yung intervention doon sa scenario na yan? As yun nandito sa baba na nakikita ninyo. Okay, ano yung comparison, ano yung outcome, and tingin nyo, ano yung possible time frame? Okay, so I will ask that on our face-to-face class. Okay, next step would be to search for best evidences. So you search for journals, database, and guidelines. So you use key terms from your clinical question. So ibig sabihin, you will seek the help of research journals. So madami yan, mga database, mga clinical guidelines to find yung mga evidence related dun sa clinical question mo, yung PubMed, Medscape. Okay, so you have different mga journals or database wherein you can search for mga recent researches. Okay, fourth would be critically appraise the evidence. Ibig sabihin, you need to evaluate whether the studies are valid, reliable ba, hindi porket nabasa mo yun na yun. So you need to evaluate yung validity niya, reliability, accurate ba yun, applicable ba siya sa patient situation mo. Okay, so kailangan mong makita yung validity ng research na yun. Okay, next would be, you need to integrate evidence with expertise and preferences. So, you need to consider your clinical expertise, okay? Yung patient's preference and values, yung resources and policy. So, kapag nakita mo yung isang research, okay, you need to combine that research finding with your own clinical judgment when considering and considering the patient's condition or preference, okay? I-check mo, applicable ba to sa patient ko in terms of yung preference niya, literacy level, okay, yung resources na available ako. Okay, so you need to integrate that. Next would be implement and evaluate the outcome. So you apply the evidence base after mong i-critique, okay, yung in-integrate mo, pinut mo na into expertise, na-check mo na yung preference applicable. So you now need to implement and evaluate the outcome. You apply the intervention and monitor whether yung outcome is nag-improve, okay? And then, lastly, you need to disseminate the outcome. So, you share the findings with healthcare professionals. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, if successful yung interventions and findings, you can share that with your colleagues. So, let's say, sa isang meeting, report. Okay? So, it would help improve nursing practice and patient care across a setting. O, so, let's say, sa hospital ninyo, baka pwedeng i-adapt muna yun doon. Okay? So, that is the 7 steps of your EBP. Now, let's discuss your quality evidence. So, when you say quality evidence, it's focused on the understanding of the human experience, okay, feelings, and perspective. Okay? So, unlike ng inyong quantitative studies that measures numbers and outcomes, ang qualitative sa atin, nurses, it helps us understand the patient experience. Okay? How the care is being delivered, and ano yung context in which care occurs. Okay, so example nga is yung experiences of cancer patient during chemotherapy. So, pag qualitative yung study mo, it may explore yung emotion, okay, experience ng isang CA patient undergoing chemotherapy. Okay, so information na yon would help you as a nurse provide more compassion, more holistic, more patient-centered care. Okay, so importante siya ang qualitative evidence kasi not all healthcare questions can be answered using randomized and controlled trials po. Now, when you say external evidence, these are evidence from research studies. Okay, and anong characteristic niya? Okay, it is intended to be applied beyond the original study setting. Meaning po, okay, ang characteristic niya is generalized, okay? Pwede mong i-transfer to other setting. So, example, merong diabetic management na guidelines na na-develop sa isang international study. Tapos, pwede siyang gamitin hospital worldwide. Okay? So, that's an example of external evidence. It helps yung mga healthcare professional to make informed clinical decision based dun sa scientifically tested findings. Okay? Galing dun sa international study. So, it is transferable to other settings. Pwede mong i-adapt. Okay, that's external. How about your internal evidence? Pag internal evidence, it's generated within a specific setting. Okay? So, minsan meron tayong instances wherein yung external research is unavailable. So, pwede tayong kumuha ng internal evidence. So, yun yung mga data within a specific healthcare setting or population. Okay? So, let's say for example, meron kayong mga QI projects or quality improvement projects, mga evidence-based implementation project, evaluation would fall as well. Okay? So, anong characteristic niya? Unlike your evidence-based, external evidence, ang internal evidence is not intended to be generalized to all setting. Okay? So, let's say nga, for example, yung hospital ninyo na-conduct ng QI project, okay, about bedside endorsement at nare-reduce daw niya yung medication error in the unit. So although hindi siya applicable, okay, kasi yung study nyo is within a specific population lang or setting, hindi siya pwedeng i-adapt agad, okay, ng ibang hindi siya transferable, hindi siya pwedeng pang generalize, but still, okay, they are valuable in improving patient care. Okay, so it may apply on that hospital kung saan ginawa yung study, QI study na yan. Okay, so that's internal evidence. Now, when you say evaluation as internal evidence, so evaluations kasi are example of internal evidence kasi they assess whether what? A specific intervention work in a certain setting or population. So, tandaan, evaluations are not meant to be generalized to all healthcare setting. Okay? Ano yung role niya? They help determine yung effectiveness ng intervention in an actual clinical practice. Okay? So, let's say, ikaw as a nurse, in-evaluate mo whether yung health teaching program improve medication adherence sa mga hypertensive patient in a clinical, in a community clinic. Okay? So, that is an internal evidence. Okay? So, hindi siya external. Pero, importante pa rin siya kasi it can improve what? Nursing care. Okay? Therefore, nag-i-improve yung patient outcome. Okay? So, let's discuss critical thinking in evidence-based practice. So, very essential siya. Okay? Sa EBP. Okay? So, tayo nurses should think critically before acting. Conduct ongoing critical appraisal. Okay? So, dapat tayo, we continuously evaluate the patient's response, effectiveness of interventions, quality of care provided. So, yung mga critical appraisal should occur. Okay? Kailan siya occur? During patient care and after patient interaction. So, let's say, after mong nag-provide ng health teaching and na-evaluate mo, kailangan mong i-evaluate kung naiintindihan ba yung instruction mo and whether nag-improve ba yung outcome. Okay? Now, ano ba yung purpose niyan? It improve future nursing practice, identify future research need. Okay? Kasi, nare-recognize mo or nakikita mo if meron bang need for further research. Okay? If not, nag-i-improve ba yung nursing practice on that specific scenario. Okay? Now, let's discuss importance of EBP in nursing care. So, ang EBP helps nurses stay updated in current medical knowledge and best practices. Okay? So, importante siya kasi evolving ang nursing. Okay? So, dapat up to date tayo. So, we use updated evidence-based practices. Okay? Para hindi na, yung mga outdated procedure, hindi na kailangan gawin. Unnecessary na mga supplies or ineffective treatment, hindi na natin kailangan gawin. Okay? Let's say, for example, may certain wound care product na ginagamit sa hospital ninyo. Okay? Hindi na pala siya recommended kasi meron ng mga bagong evidence-based na alternative. Okay? Na merong mas bago. Okay? So, mas nag-i-improve yung patient outcome. Okay? Now, anong benefits ng EBP to nurses? So, it helps make scientifically based decision. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, our decision is not entirely based on, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, routines, okay, habits. So, all our evidence-based, may mga guidelines, okay, yung mga actions natin. We stay up to date on medical protocols, evaluate risk and effectiveness ng treatment, and improve quality of nursing care. Okay, so I think this is self-explanatory naman in terms of yung benefits ng EBP. So, maganda siya kasi nga nag-evolve na siya. So, let's say for example, yung balik tayo sa wound care, okay? So, what is the routine before? Let's say, yung when you do your injection, in terms of cleaning the injection site, okay? Previously, ano ba yung way ng paglilinis in terms of pag-wipe mo ng alcohol, cotton balls with alcohol, okay? Is it still same with the recent studies right now? Okay, circular pa rin ba? Okay, or what? So, nakikita natin nag-evolve yung practice, okay, with ano yung mas akma at this stage. Okay, benefits of EBP to patients. So, EBP allows patient to participate in healthcare decision. So, mas collaborative. They can what? Voice concerns, share personal experiences, okay? Maging active partners natin sila sa welfare nila, okay? So, nag-i-improve yung recovery, patient-centered care, and better satisfaction. An advantage, of course, sa healthcare organization. So, again, when you say healthcare organization, yung hospital, yung clinic, yung setting, okay? So, mas nag-i-improve yung patient outcome. Nagre-reduce yung cost nila, okay? So, hindi na nila kailangan bumili ng mga hindi na pala outdated na mga gamit, okay? Eliminate unnecessary practices and improve efficiency of care. Okay, and with that, we are done with evidence-based practice in health education. Thank you for listening.